its own energy. And in order for the one part to do its job, it has to take energy from the other part, because the energy of the brain is not infinite. On the contrary, it's very limited. And this is why also in neuro leadership we talk about willpower and ego depletion, and how important it is for leaders in companies to avoid this ego depletion. Because when you are ego depleted, you either say no to everything or yes to everything. Or you get angry and you fight with everybody. Think Friday night going to home after a whole hell of a week in the office. You want to kick your dog, you know. You're so angry or so tired. And this is why in the US now, they push CEOs to sleep during the day. To take a half an hour sleep during the day. In order to replace the brain energy. Physically, not psychologically, we're talking about now glucose and oxygen. Okay? So, whenever we talk about different parts and we marketeers trying to understand each part, we can understand rationality maybe better through traditional methods. Maybe we can reveal more from this deeper part through neuroscience. We do it because at the end of the day, we have to help our consumer to solve this competition in our favor. Because this competition, consumers are normal people, okay, because they're humans above all, they need to behave. They have some needs, some pains, some wishes, some desires. They need to behave. The behavior is actually the resolution of the competition in the brain. Because every time the competition finds some situation where then I do the behavior. Maybe one part won, the other part won, maybe we're equal, but in the end, this comes out as a behavior. So as a marketeer, I have to predict this competition in the brain, to understand it, and feed it with information in such a way that the conclusion of the competition, of the fight, which is the behavior, to be what I want. Means, visit my website, try my new wine, talk to your friends about me, etc., etc. Any type of consumer behavior. So my question is, as marketeers, which of your messages target which part of the brain? Unfortunately, marketeers cannot answer this. Because we didn't have up to now the knowledge of what each part needs in order to play its role in the brain. Okay? So this is why I said holistic marketeers, because we do not pick and mix parts as we want. We take the brain as it is. It's a more human approach, as Alessandro was talking.
Nikos, excuse me, you're live on Facebook. Say hello to the friends.
Hello.
Okay, thank you.
See you next time here, huh?
Okay.
In person. So this is the problem, guys. The age of reason. I told you that there was about 300 years that we have the problem of our society being obsessed, not just liking, obsessed with just one part of the brain, one capacity of the brain. Our capacity of rational thinking, sequential decision making. Sequential means 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. Okay. And this came out, especially at around the 17th, 18th century, you will see here, okay, 18th century, late 18th century, from philosophers but economists as well, where they said, back then, with zero science, it was more thinking, that the human being, actually, the higher ideal of a human being is one that thinks rationally. One that analyzes a situation objectively, sees the different parts of the problem, this is what analysis means, and then taking a logical decision based on this analysis. Is what we call now Homo economicus thinking. And the problem is that they didn't just say humans have this capacity. They said this is the only capacity that humans should have. Any other capacity is wrong, leads to mistakes, and makes humans look more like animals than this higher human being. So they were romantic, it was a romantic theory, a dogma. I would say even with religious zeal. So they said, let's now educate the humankind to become Homo economicus. So you go to school and we just train our rational part of the brain, the sequential. We don't really train how to be emotional. Do they teach us how to have emotional intelligence and how to create social bonding better at school? No, ignoring. Actually, in school, the worst thing that somebody can tell you is, don't be emotional. Why are you so emotional? Right? If I tell you, don't be irrational. Irrational is a good thing or bad thing? It's obviously a bad thing how I say it. You know, don't be irrational. Come on, don't be irrational. Because for Homo economicus, only rational thinking is good thinking. Everything else is bad. And it went so hard, so far away, to say that when humans do not behave rationally, do not optimize their decision making based on rational thinking and analytics, they behave like animals. There's a fantastic phrase called animal spirits in economics. That if you don't optimize, you are actually possessed, like a spirit, by animals. You are not